There you go. Sorry. Those ones are so hard.
Actually, thank you.
My name is Brad Howard. I professionally am both a tour operator. We take people overseas for purpose, professional groups and associations, and I also have commercial real estate here in the East Bay. In Rotary, I have been involved with it for about 35 years and have been a governor, which is a regional responsibility, and then been a member of the board of directors of Rotary International, the international board. So polio was a disease that was a huge issue in the early 1950s. Towards the end of the 1950s, early 1960s, they found a vaccine. Well, about that time, Rotary, by accident, decided that it was a very localized effort in the Philippines, that they could, if they had enough money, could buy enough vaccines to immunize all their kids. Well, they did it. And so Rotary as an organization said, wow, if all we need to do is get vaccines to kids, we could do that. And so since that time, we have been knocking off all these countries. 125 countries had polio when we started. Right now it's down to 2, Pakistan and Afghanistan. But because Pakistan and Afghanistan have very limited healthcare systems and border controls, it isn't limited to those countries. People are traveling across borders between those 2 countries, and Pakistan's a neighbor with India. When we immunize a child during these national immunization days, we are trying to immunize every single child in that country that are 5 years and younger. And this is what we did on this recent trip. Over a 5-day period, they're trying to immunize more than 100 million children. And then people start. Got it.
Okay, who's next? Oh, no. Are you laughing at me? Are you laughing at me? The way you think so.
Okay. हाथ मिला रहा है।
तू देख हाथ पर, तू देख।
Oh yeah. Well, I don't think we spoke a lot.
Whenever you walk through these villages, there's a whole pack of kids that are following you. And some of them are in areas that basically they're dumps. I mean, literally are a dump. You're watching kids play with bicycle wheels that are broken. The thing that always strikes me is how happy they are. And it's those smiles and it's those interactions with those people, the people in need, that really, I think, drive emotion for a lot of people when they're in this environment, to say, I got to help them do something. And I think that's where Rotary's job becomes most important.
Press, press.
The community in which we were in was called Mewat. And Mewat is a largely Muslim populated place, but very impoverished. In fact, the largest industry, if you will, is making fuel for fires so that they can cook and heat their house. And that fuel is quite literally made out of cow patties.
This is the kitchen.
This is the kitchen?
I was just told that. Yeah, that's where they build the fire, they cook over the fire, and this is the kitchen right here. The man just told me, the driver just told me.
There's what's called the caste system, and so there's this whole spectrum of haves and have-nots. There are those that are called the untouchables, and in society they really don't have a place. One of the parts of the polio eradication effort is one day you go from door to door looking for kids in each house to know that everyone's been immunized.
ये चले जाएंगे।
स्कूल गए बता। अरे छोटे छोटे से स्कूल भगा दिए क्या? तो सो रहा है। लेना आ फिर ले।
Baby down.
ये बेटा।
Here we go. Here we go.
डर हम बस।
Shoot, I missed it.
The ability to see what happens with polio comes in two parts. One, the emotion of, I'm going to stop this from happening to another kid. But the second part is helping those that didn't have the 2 drops and those people who now cannot walk. Well, there is a hospital in Delhi that many years ago, some of the Rotarians in the Bay Area came together and in concert and partnership with Rotarians in Delhi, helped fund a post-polio ward. A gentleman by the name of Dr. Matthews is the key surgeon that literally performs miracles on these people. These are people whose feet are sideways. They can only crawl on their hands and knees, and yet he's able to turn those lives into an upright life. There's a place in Jaipur called the Jaipur Foot Factory that is supported in part by Rotary and in part by others, that quite literally takes the PVC pipes that we all know that go in the ground, that carry sewage and water, and is able to turn them into a limb that can be put on a leg so that people quite literally can walk in day 1 and on day 2 be walking with a new prosthetic limb.
But if it falls, look down on the map.
Round and round, all through the town. The people on the bus go up and down, up and down, up and down. The people on the bus go up and down, all through the town. The horn on the bus go.
Can I take your picture?
Your name is Kushi.
My name is
Hello. May I can identify as you wish. Bring more people over here. Let them see it. Then I can open the shop.
So this Rotary Club has been dedicated to help elevate the resources and training of the teachers. And to give you a picture of the school, they've built a great building, small. There's 2 parts. One is for young children, and the other one is a vocational training school for the women of the village to learn how to sew and therefore be productive for themselves. But this school is quite literally in the middle of a pigsty, and no one wants to walk anywhere near where the pigs are hanging out. You can imagine if you're in a village that's called a slum, the effect of having 50 people from another country come into your presence, bring you stuff and resources, and buy your goods, how that inspires them that they are better than what they have.
1 2 3 4 हमारा नंबर है।
I really didn't know what to expect coming to India. My wife and I, are both Rotarians, and we came knowing that we were coming for a good cause. And we have definitely fulfilled our mission in that, and seeing lives changed, putting 2 drops of polio vaccination into a small child's mouth, knowing that that child will not suffer the consequences of a debilitating, deathly sickness called polio.
When I first did this trip, or contemplated doing it, I thought to myself, you know, is this really just a self-satisfying thing about going over here? Wouldn't that money that I spent on this coming over here be better spent if I were to donate it to the Polio Plus campaign? And the Rotarians here put it another way. They said that our coming here is inspiring to them, that we would do that.
I think every Rotarian should have an opportunity to give a child 2 magic drops and to see the great work that's being done in this country to help not only prevent polio, but to help those that are still suffering from the effects. It would be very worthwhile to participate in.
Probably the most inspirational trip I've ever gone on, and I've traveled quite a bit. But this trip, you can't compare it to other trips because you know you're doing something good, but at the same time, you're showing, you know, this is America, you're a foreigner, but we're all the same. We all have that feeling of we want to help each other.
I think that you can see a lot of really wonderful, lovely things amongst the dirty air and the dirty living conditions. And I spent a lot of time with kids and trying to communicate through language barriers. And there's love there. It's lovely.
Coming to India has just been an absolute blessing to see the amount of work that goes into this national inoculation day. The entire country inoculates their children. It's amazing.
It's encouraging that even though we don't speak the language down here, everybody's been warm to us, receptive. So, you know, it gives me encouragement when I go home that, you know, we can use this as a model so that we're not divided. We can unite around a common purpose, which is to take care of people.
Well, when we started our effort, there were 350,000 new cases annually of polio. This past year, there was about 140 cases, and that's significant. But the real difference is, why are we here on Earth? What is our legacy? And watching people take these trips, I think, helps to define that. You can't help but feel, for just random luck, I was born there and got all this good stuff, or that I could have been born here and been needing other people's help. And when you have a chance to see it and believe that you can do something about it, it makes a huge difference. So what's the future of polio? It'll be gone. What will happen next? Well, that's up to the Rotarians, and it will be up to them to decide where their passion is, where their future is, and how they can, through the effort of making friends with others, create lasting change across the globe, in their community, and in themselves.